For this video, I'm just going to go over a few different thoracic extension drills that I like to program for clients. As much as we like to encourage clients to not do a lot of passive mobility, we also realize that there's a time and place to do some of that passive work. Whether you are taking a break from your sedentary job or you're just feeling tight after you did a bench day and your pecs are tight and you just need to open up the anterior portion of your trunk, utilizing a few of these drills can be very beneficial. Our whole take on spending less time doing passive work is just making sure that there's intent behind what you're doing. Making sure that you're just not spending 20 minutes on a foam roll before you train just for the sake of doing the foam roll exercise is what we want to try to avoid. We want to be able to utilize these drills for when you need it in order to create change depending on the task at hand. And so here I have an AccuMobility roller, and I'm just going to do some standard thoracic mobility stuff. First, depending on how things feel, maybe my erectors or my mid-back muscles are just really tight, I may spend some time just rolling up and down, just to get some blood flow going and just to sensitize or desensitize the area a little bit. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause on a spot that feels stiff. Okay, I'm going to drop my hips down, and I'm still going to create somewhat of a brace here in my trunk. Reason for that being is that when I'm working on the thoracic mobility, since my focus is thoracic mobility, I don't want to just go into a ton of lumbar motion. I want to isolate my thoracic spine. So I'm going to drop my hips down, and then from here, I'm just going to think about extending back for thoracic extension. If your pecs are really tight, a cue that I like to use is actually thinking about pulling your elbows back so then you also get a good stretch in the front. And that also helps to be a little bit more active in getting that thoracic extension. Okay, I may do that about 2 to 3 times, holding 5 seconds, coming back, and going into it again. I'm going to move the roller up on my T-spine, and then I'm going to repeat 2 to 3 times. And you may even move it up one more time, depending on how you feel. And then I may want to add some active arm range of motion. So from here, just trying to go reach up overhead, right? Again, you can do this just for some daily thoracic mobility, or if you're feeling tight and you need a little bit more mobility before you train, especially with overhead movements, you may need to loosen up that thoracic spine a bit while letting your arms go overhead. Okay, and then from here I may go into some angel motions, really just getting those muscles between my scapula moving and just trying to reach up overhead. Okay, so some pretty basic stuff using a roller. It doesn't have to be the AccuMobility ball roller. You can just use a standard foam roller and just turn it sideways and just move it up and down your thoracic spine. Now we can also utilize either what some people call like a peanut, where you can either buy it pre-made or you can just take 2 tennis balls or 2 lacrosse balls and tape them together. We like to utilize our AccuMobility balls. So I'm going to place them on the floor, and usually I will do this after I've already used the foam roller because I've already had a self-assessment of what areas might be a little bit tighter. Again, always trying to assess, address it, and then reassess. So then that way you're not just going down this laundry list of all this mobility exercises. Utilize the exercises that best fit your need for that day. So I'm going to place the balls where I felt the tightest when I was doing my assessment with some general rolling. Okay, and it was a little bit lower on my T-spine, so that's where I'm going to go. And then I'm just going to repeat the same movements. So thinking about extending over the AccuMobility balls, I like utilizing the AccuMobility balls because it's a little bit more isolated in those tighter segments of my thoracic spine. I may do that for a few reps, move it up, find a good spot. My spine is in between the two AccuMobility balls. And I'm just gonna work those tighter segments. Same thing, I'm gonna start adding in some active range of motion. I may do this 3, 4, 5 times. Okay. I may even want to hold at the top. And then come back. And then do some angels. If you are someone who has some shoulder discomfort, doing these angel motions may need to be modified. The lower you go, the more you might feel some impingement in your shoulder. So if you need to, just raise your arms higher off of the floor and go in the range that is tolerable. There's a motion called scaption that we like to use, that instead of being flat here or going straight into shoulder flexion, go 45 degrees and go in that range of motion right there. And that may help if you're starting to feel some impingement with your shoulder.